All right, welcome into the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I am Chase Sr. Some big news to get to surrounding your 49ers, and it's not good news. There was some breaking news on Monday that the 49ers had signed safety Tony Jefferson, but now some big injury news that we must hit on, and my goodness, the injury bug continues to haunt this franchise. How many times have I sat here on the 49ers Report and said, if healthy, the 49ers can compete for a Super Bowl this upcoming season? And last year, coming off that Super Bowl, they were really talented, but injuries really caused them to go 6-10. And as we are sitting here during OTAs, the injuries are back. The injuries are continuing to haunt this franchise. Nothing overly significant, but still significant, and injuries that are affecting the depth for this team. Justin Skule, offensive tackle, according to reports, has suffered a torn ACL. That happened during practice on Monday. And during the same practice, Tarvarius Moore, the safety, suffered a torn Achilles. This is brutal news for Justin Skule because he wasn't going to be a starter barring any injury for this team in Kyle Shanahan's offense, but he was filling in for Trent Williams as Trent Williams was away for voluntary OTAs. And this is a guy who provides depth for this offensive line and can kind of fill a variety of roles at both tackle spots, but if you need him to swing inside in an emergency situation, you can do that as well. Looks as though Justin Skule is going to be out for the remainder of the 2021 season before it even starts, and this is just brutal injury luck for this 49ers team. You're thinking last year was maybe a mirage in 2020 and just a string of bad luck that maybe just came to the forefront for one single season. But here we are just weeks away from training camp beginning, and already you lose Justin Skule to a torn ACL, as well as Tarvarius Moore to a torn Achilles. And if it was Trent Williams going down with a serious injury, especially after him signing that monster contract this past offseason, the largest for any left tackle at the time, it would be horrendous for the 49ers. This isn't to the severity of that, but you need quality depth in the trenches, especially along the offensive line, when you're looking to compete in a really competitive NFC West division that is chock full of prime playoff candidates in a division that I think is going to be the best across the league. And when guys like Trent Williams or Laken Tomlinson, Mike McGlinchey, Alex Mack start to go down, you really rely on these depth pieces to fill in nicely along the offensive line without there being much of a drop-off, and you rely on those guys to at least help you keep your head above water. And when guys start going down like this left and right, that depth is depleted immediately, and then you're just bringing in random guys off the street who were free agents for a long time for a reason. As for opportunities that are going to present themselves for players on this roster, 49ers did draft offensive tackle Jaylon Moore in the 5th round this past NFL draft. And the good news for Jaylon Moore, he's going to have an opportunity to really prove himself, really make the 53-man roster, but the 49ers targeted him in the 5th round for this reason. He has versatility. And at the college game, he did play tackle, but the 49ers had figured, okay, we can put him out at tackle if we need to, but he can also slide on the inside in the interior and play guard as well. With Skule going down, Jaylon Moore is going to have an opportunity to crack the 53-man roster spot, but also be the top backup left tackle on this football team. Other guys who could also step in and kind of absorb this hit of Skule going down, who really since getting drafted in the 2019 draft in the 6th round out of Vanderbilt have proved himself as a pretty capable player, especially as a backup. You're looking at guys like Shon Coleman, who are going to be able to step in and get some quality reps here in OTAs as well as mini camps and training camp, and Colton McKivitz, who's had a lot of snaps under his belt, going to have an opportunity as well. So we continue to talk about these 49ers injuries, and I'm sitting in the office putting this show together, and I'm like, are the 49ers just cursed? I mean, last year you expect them coming off that Super Bowl loss to the Kansas City Chiefs to once again compete for another Super Bowl title, but injuries, robbed them of that opportunity, and now we're just getting started. This team has a Super Bowl ready roster, and already depth pieces are being just crushed by injuries right from the jump. and Tarvarius Moore. Justin Skule probably going to be out for the season because ACL and Achilles injuries are no joke. So type Y if you think the 49ers are cursed. Type N if you don't think they are. You want to take the more positive route. Be sure to get your votes in the comment section down below. Let's pivot to Tarvarius Moore. In the same practice that Justin Skule tore his ACL, Tarvarius Moore goes down with a torn Achilles. Tarvarius Moore, I had him as a prime breakout candidate for this upcoming season. 2018 third-round pick coming out of Southern Miss. 49ers really fell in love with him during his pro day because he displayed 4.3 plus 40 speed, and there have certainly been highs and lows throughout his 49ers career so far. And going into his fourth year, this is a critical year for him. He had an opportunity to get quality backup snaps behind Jaquiski Tartt, as well as some of the other safeties on this roster. And going into his fourth year, final year of his rookie contract, Tarvarius Moore really had to play well if he had any hopes of extending his career with the 49ers beyond the season. And before he has an opportunity to prove himself as a quality third-round pick from a couple of years ago, he goes down with a torn Achilles. And at this point, even with medical advances, torn Achilles probably higher on the Richter scale in terms of severity than torn ACLs. That is not an injury you come back from in the span of several months. This is an injury that is going to most likely cost him the entire 2021 season. So brutal injury news for Tarvarius Moore entering a critical year this year where he had an opportunity to really prove himself as not being a bust, because at times he has been a pretty solid safety in this 49ers secondary. So where do you look to after Tarvarius Moore? You have Jimmy Ward, who's of course going to be penciled in as the starter. He's the longest tenured player on this 49ers roster. Yeah, Jaquiski Tartt as well, who has proven himself as a capable player as well throughout his NFL career. Other than that, how about guys like Marcell Harris and Talanoa Hufanga, another late round pick for the 49ers who at USC was really impressive to me because he does have versatility to his game as well, kind of a hybrid linebacker safety role who can also play special teams, and people have been raving about Talanoa Hufanga. Well, maybe instead of him focusing on a hybrid role where he's on the back end at safety as well as in the middle of the defense in that second level at linebacker, Talanoa Hufanga is going to be forced to play more safety. Now, I think it's important for him to get those quality reps in a hybrid role because I do think him playing both positions bodes well for him moving forward, and that's also something that you've seen become more and more prevalent with NFL defenses as opposing offenses go with more spread concepts. You like guys who can play safety and linebacker to give you some sideline-to-sideline speed. Also, we talked about this on the 49ers Report on Monday. It was breaking news really early, around 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 a.m. Pacific, when Adam Schefter had tweeted out that the 49ers brought in Tony Jefferson. At first, when I saw this news about Tarvarius Moore, I was thinking to myself, okay, did the 49ers sign Tony Jefferson knowing that Tarvarius Moore is gone for the season because of this torn Achilles? It happened during practice on Monday. So good luck, good timing for the 49ers signing Tony Jefferson, who last played for the Baltimore Ravens back in 2019. After a good start to his career with the Arizona Cardinals after being a UDFA guy out of Oklahoma, earned himself a 4-year, $19 million fully guaranteed contract after that stint with the Cardinals with the Baltimore Ravens. Didn't necessarily live up to those expectations. Of course, hasn't played since 2019, but at times throughout his career has been one of the more quality safeties across the NFL. Signing him, in hindsight, a very smart move and a very good move in terms of timing, with Tarvarius Moore going down. So Justin Skule out with a torn ACL, Moore out with a torn Achilles. The horrible injury luck for this franchise continues. What is your one-word reaction to these injuries? Because I have sat here on the 49ers Report, and I feel as though I say it all the time. If healthy this, if healthy that. Well, what do you know? We're weeks away from training camp, and the severe injuries are already starting to pile up for this franchise, a franchise that has become way too familiar with players being out for extended periods of time, especially when you look back at that Super Bowl hangover season. This is why you subscribe to the 49ers Report by Chat Sports as we inch closer and closer to the 36,000 subscriber mark. When breaking news like this happens, we hustle here in the office at Chat Sports and we put out a video immediately. So either hit that red subscribe button down below or go to youtube.com/49erstv. Yes, we cover the latest news and rumors around your 49ers, but when breaking injury news happens, we have you covered. When Tony Jefferson signs, we push out a video. So once again, subscribe to the 49ers Report for free daily videos from us here at Chat Sports. And lastly, before we head out, give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram at Chase_Senior. It's the same handle on both Twitter and Instagram. I made it easy for all of you. Let's talk Niners. Slide into my DMs. You got a question for me about these injuries? Should the 49ers change their training staff? Hit me with it at Chase_Senior.